it's emerged that this campaign against the opposition leader of the Labour Party in Britain, called Jeremy Corbyn, this incessant campaign to dub him anti-Semitic and to get him to resign, in effect, that's what it's about, and to stop legitimate criticism of Israel, is actually being run by Israel. I've been saying this all along. And now more information is coming out to confirm it. It's obvious, because as I've been saying for ages, Israel has a network of organizations in the different countries whose job is to use the label of anti-Semitism to stop criticism of Israel. And in doing so, what they're doing is exploiting what happened to Jewish people in Nazi Germany to pursue a political agenda today, which disgusts me beyond belief. But given that they have no capacity for self-disgust, it does not disgust them. As long as it works, who cares? This is the story. An app operated as part of an Israeli government propaganda campaign issued a, quote, mission for social media users to make comments against Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn, accusing him of anti-Semitism. This is the latest evidence of the Israeli campaign of psychological warfare against the UK's main opposition party, and the only one, in fact not the whole party, but that supports Corbyn within the party, that will criticise Israel. All the others have been stitched up already, and a great chunk of the parliamentary Labour Party as well, that looks to its guru Tony Blair. The ACT.IL app on Sunday falsely accused Corbyn of comparing Israel to Nazi Germany in a 2010 meeting which had been resurfaced by the Times last week, because all these major establishment newspapers are now searching through Corbyn's past to find anything that they can tag to this. He's an anti-Semite. Anything. I mean, it's pathetic the lengths they've gone to. The mission was documented in this tweet by Michael Burkhardt, a Canadian researcher who has been monitoring this Israeli government app since last year. Israel's official propaganda app is promoting comments against Corbyn on Huffington Post. Strangely, these comments claim there is not a history of anti-Semitism in the Labour Party, blaming anti-Semitism solely on Corbyn's anti-Israel statements. The reality is very different from the app's claims. As it says here, my colleague Adri Newworth explains, Corbyn hosted a meeting titled Never Again for Anyone with Hajo Meir, a survivor of the Auschwitz concentration camp and an anti-Zionist who spoke out strongly for Palestinian rights. Meir passed away in 2014. And the app, the Israeli government app, asks users to comment on Facebook in response to a Huffington Post UK story about Corbyn's alleged anti-Israel remarks, which claims are often a way to hide anti-Semitism. The mission directs users to click like on a comment by Facebook user Nancy Sada and write their own comments echoing her criticisms of Labour. Quote, Nancy has posted elsewhere on her Facebook profile a photograph of herself in an Israeli army uniform posing as an armoured vehicle, on an armoured vehicle, maybe as an armoured vehicle, who knows, draped with an Israeli flag. And what this is an example of is what I've been talking about for months and months now. And that is the way that this whole anti-Semitism hysteria is being orchestrated by the Israeli government and by the cabal that controls the Israeli government. And it's systematic. So someone like me, for instance, will have people complaining to venues that I'm going to say this, that, and the other, when I'm absolutely not and never have. And the venue can think, oh, that we're having quite a few complaints about, having Icon at our venue, when actually it's the same tiny group of people orchestrating a mirage of opposition. and a mirage of protest, and it's being done on a mega scale with Jeremy Corbyn. And the last I hear, just before I started this recording, is that the Labour Party are considering basically rolling over and accepting the full manipulated massively version of what is perceived to be anti-Semitism, which includes the criticism of Israel. And somehow they're saying we'll have to find a way of accepting all that is in this version, but still being able to criticize Israel. Well, the two don't scan, because this anti-Semitism definition that the Labour Party up to this point has resisted accepting all of it, which includes the criticism of Israel, in effect, being anti-Semitic. You can't accept all of that definition and criticize Israel without breaking at least one of the definitions, or one sentence in the definitions. So the way forward, if only Jeremy Corbyn had the balls, would be to call out Israel for what it is, a racist apartheid state, call out what is happening for what it is, which is an Israeli government-based campaign to stop criticism of Israel and remove and marginalize the only group of people in British politics who are prepared to criticize Israel. That's what he should be doing, instead of trying to placate them. What happens if you placate them is, when you agree to one thing, they then add something else they want, and down the road we go. For goodness sake, Mr. Corbyn, have some round ones and stand up for what's right. And you know, we have an unbelievable level of hypocrisy, in that Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, came out this week talking about Corbyn deserving condemnation for some years ago placing a wreath at a cemetery where he claimed that terrorists involved in the Munich massacre of Jewish athletes in the Munich Olympics were buried. Turns out, when people have researched it, that the people involved in that terrorism that killed grotesquely killed the Jewish athletes are all accounted for, and they're not in that cemetery. And at the same time Netanyahu was pointing that out, he wasn't pointing out the fact that he'd been along to a ceremony to mark the actions of the Irgun terrorist group that helped to bomb and terrorize Israel into existence in 1948. A commemoration of an anniversary of a bomb, a massive bomb being placed in the King David's Hotel in Jerusalem by Irgun, that killed, I think it was something like 91 people, including British subjects as well as Arab people. But that's okay. And in fact, Netanyahu said, or the plaque said that he opened at the ceremony, that he was there at the ceremony, said that Irgun had given a warning that the bomb was going to go off, but the British had not responded to it, and that was why all those people died. After pressure from the British end, saying there is absolutely no record of any warning, they actually removed that off the plaque, according to a story I read. But this is the hypocrisy, and Another story this week involving Israel. Israeli armed drone killed 4 Palestinian boys playing on a beach in 2014, according to a report. You might remember during that bombardment of Gaza in 2014, 4 kids playing football on the beach were killed when they were hit by Israeli fire. This report has concluded that actually the fire came from an armed drone. These are the people that are calling everyone else racist and saying that all they want is peace.